Ah, hello. That was already played. The random for the music in the background is not working well today. I keep getting repeats. Hello, how are we doing? It's time for red flags. It's always time for red flag. It's Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah. Welcome. And hello. So, has it been a week already? It really doesn't feel like it's been a week. It feels like we did this yesterday. Did we do this yesterday? Is everybody just playing an elaborate trick on me? Okay, well. What happened last time? Let's have a gander, shall we? So last time we began Disc 2. And we begin, as all good tales begin, with Jimmy waking up in a room on a bad old mattress. In a room covered in bullet holes. You watched the VOD yesterday, so that's fair enough. That's good enough for me. It was yesterday. We did this yesterday. Yeah, Jimmy woke up. There was a little girl called Dishy. She told him to go to the pub, which was next door. The lady who was here, whose name I have completely forgotten. Oh, I think that was it? No, was that Jessica? No, Jessica was someone else. Might have been Jessica. Anywho, it was Jessica. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to write this down before I forget. Probably not going to be an awful lot of mention of this character again. Well, I suppose there is. Jessica. And we re-met up with Jen. And Jen and Jimmy got chatting about things, and Jimmy's like, oh, you know, I've been recuperating here ever since we jumped off a cliff and almost died. The people looked after me, so I stayed here and looked after the town because all the men have gone off to war. But, you know, I'm getting the hankering to go out and see the world as I do. I'm a traveller, but I've become rather attached to Jessica and Dishy. You still love that drawing of Jen so much. It pretty well encapsulates Jen. Yeah. And Jen's sort of like, you don't seem like the sort of person who would settle down. But Jimmy has become rather attached. Jen is goals. Jen is perfectly acceptable to be goals, because who else would you want to have as your role model than somebody who attaches blades to their hands? Yeah. And then we wake up. We wake up in a prison. We find that Pikachu and Velma and Jenny are all in a cell together. And various things happen from that point on, including the fact that Simon is being tortured by Kyle because Kyle is under instructions from the Sorceress TM that to ascertain what seed the elite fighting unit of all of the space objects. It's gonna get confusing later on in the story if I keep calling these space objects. So the space potato, because there's a space potato, the space pancake, and the space cheese. We haven't been there yet. But yeah, the seed, the elite mercenary unit, which Kyle failed to get into, he wants to know, because the sorceress wants to know what their actual deal is, and we don't know because we were just hired and then told to go and do a mission, and now we're here. Base for Hands is gay rights. Yeah, why not? That's what the B in LGBT stands for. Long gay blade tongs. Does that work? No, not really. Yeah, so we get tortured for no particular reason. We then meet a new species. These are called Moombas, I believe. They're sort of somewhere in between a rabbit and a tiger. And there's some sort of servants here. They get abused by the guards. We don't like that, so Pikachu realizes that he can beat people up with his fists. So he goes and beats people up with his fists, gets their weapons back, comes back, and they break out after having a quick fight with Grumpy and Wide Jessie, who have slightly fallen from grace, what with being beaten up last time. We then return to this nightmare, where a whole bunch of Moombas are in a room shouting Jimmy at Simon. And that happens. So we break him out. We then go downstairs, try and get out of the prison. Turns out the prison is underground, or under sand, more accurately. So we work our way back up. We get ambushed on the way back up, but fortunately for us, Jessie McCree and what's her name? Cheery, that's the one. They arrive just in the nick of time to help us. We then get to the top and we realise that this prison is just the weirdest design for a prison you ever did see, because it screws itself underground occasionally, which is what it does when we get up to the top. And so the floor also falls apart. I don't know why, it just does. Really want to know how these two got in. There is explanation as to how they got there, but not how they got in. Guns, I guess. Via the plot train. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about the next thing that happens in the story, and there is also another question of how did you get there? Exactly. How exactly did you get from A to B? Because it happens off screen. A wizard did it. If ever you have any questions like that, a wizard did it. Yeah, so we survived that because we decided to go the correct way, unlike young me. And the next thing we know, we're driving out of the prison. It's literally the next scene. We're just in cars driving out. And we drive into the desert somewhere. There is no further explanation than this. So here is the desert. There's some distant mountain ranges and such. Here's a friendly cactus. Always nice to have a friendly cactus. Hi Dark, how you doing? The eternal struggle between the two forces of rub lamp and no rub lamp. A tale as old as time. Ooh, lovely, lovely bit of clav going on there. Hi Dark, how you doing? Is it all good? Oh, that's a point, Dark. Remind me to sell you? Remind me to send you things. I keep forgetting to send you things. Yeah, so we drive off, and the vehicles are just kind of weird boxes. They're kind of somewhere in between like a Humvee and a tank. So I'm just going to draw neither, and draw some boxes with a bit of beveling. Big old chunky wheels. You basically nick a couple of prison vehicles. Because I guess everyone else in the prison is incapacitated. Don't know what happens to all the other people in the prison. This is the best drawing I've ever made. Look at it. Absolutely fantastic. Best vehicle 2021. Actually, it doesn't look too bad if you think this is the front, but this is the front. So, these things happen. It's a birthday present to Cheeps. Can we rub the lamp? It's not in my hands. Literally and figuratively. It's a box on wheels, yeah. Fortunately for us, we have two boxes on wheels, and you know what that means. It's time for the obligatory Final Fantasy. The party splits up and does two things as a separate group of parties. Yes, who will you decide to go on which half of the mission? So let me explain what's happening. So I do like this piece of music. Splitting up is always a good idea. There is when some important things are occurring in this particular instance, so. This is how perspective works. Do not argue. Do not argue. So, who do we have? We have over here, I should explain. So what's actually happening here is Jesse McCree and Cheery are explaining what's going on in the outside world while we've been in prison. And what's happened essentially is that subsequent to the assassination attempt on her life, the sorceress has taken it upon herself to essentially declare war on the space objects. The space potato and the space cheese in particular, because she is in charge of the Galbadian army and as a consequence has commandeered the space pancake. You having a grump off? And by way of warfare, she has decided that the best way to be dealing with insubordinate space potatoes and space cheese is to attack them directly, and by directly I mean somewhat indirectly. What I specifically mean is with missiles. Yeah. So by the looks of it, one of the either the space potato or the space cheese is already going to have a bad time because the missiles have already launched. But it is decided that on the off chance that the space potato is still, or can at least still be evacuated, can be warned that this is happening, just nuke the place. Yeah, literally, it's just firing a bunch of missiles, transcontinental ballistic missiles. They exist in this world. And remember when we had to turn on a satellite dish? How that was supposed to be impressive technology. Technology in this world is just all over the place. So yeah, so we've taken it upon ourselves to decide that if the space potato is, how do hands work, it is possible to warn them and evacuate them, but by the time that the next missile barrage occurs, then we're going to have one team that's going to go off and do that, and we're going to have another team that's going to go to the missile base and try and stop the missiles being fired in the first place. Both of which I think are perfectly sensible plans. So Jenny says that she will head the team that goes to the missile base, and Simon is going to head the team who's going to go back to the space potato. So we're splitting up into two groups. I believe anyone can go with anyone. I don't think there's any restriction. So I'll let you guys decide who goes where. I typically always used to split it up into the girls and the boys, mostly to annoy Jesse McCree. Because he always wants to go with the girls. Satellites are cool, nukes in there. Yeah, so we have Team Anime and we have Team Lisai. Got a very fluffy jacket to be out in the middle of the desert with. Who's the most leveled up? In this game, leveling is not a good idea. So, if you played it correctly, nobody. The answer is nobody has leveled at all. You can play this entire game without leveling up once. Final Fantasy VIII did some weird things with its mechanics, which I admire. I admire it trying something different. It was not altogether successful, in the sense that it's very easy to break, but that makes it more fun. I like games you can break. Yeah, so the way the leveling system works is that you level up, and obviously your stats get better when you level up. And different characters have different amounts that their stats go up by, so Pikachu gets more strength, stuff like that. Yeah, in the long run, because enemies and bosses also level up with you. And this is to discourage grinding. This is to kind of actively say, hey, if you're just going to spend 2 hours fighting caterpillars, you're not actually going to get anywhere. You still have to get good at the game. There are actual tiers of enemies. So like above level 20, enemies are suddenly going to get different moves and stronger moves. So you may actually end up screwing yourself over because now they're using level 3 magic rather than level 2 magic because you grinded. You ground? You know what I mean. So yeah, what you're better off doing is sucking all of the spells out of the enemies. And that's really all you need to do in the game. And bosses, this is how you know they were trying to communicate to you that leveling up isn't a good idea. Bosses give you no experience, but they give you a lot of ability points. And ability points are what is how you learn abilities from your Pokemon. Shouldn't be made out of ground. You say that to the golem. I thought there was a ground monster in this game, but I can't think of it. Oh, there's one in 9. Yeah, whatever. There's 2 in 9, actually. You can't put 2 in 9. Power of a prime. Anyway, so okay, so we're going to split up roughly into known gender lines with Jenny. I'm still not used. It's 9 streams and I'm still not used to it. Jenny, Cheery, and Velma all going off to the missile base, and Simon, Pikachu, and Jessie McCree going to the Space Potato. This is why I was saying I don't know how they get there, because the Space Potato is on an island. We are not on that island at the moment, so I don't know how we intend to get to the island in a car. Fortunately for us, the first part of the story is to go to the missile base, so all that happens off screen. So we are now going to follow the misadventures of Jenny and Cheery and Velma going to try and stop missiles firing from a missile base. Isn't that good? Isn't that lovely? So, sorry for Jenny for having to deal with 2 sexual predators, but at least they aren't targeting her. To be fair, Jessie McCree does have a thing for Jenny, so although he has the thing for everyone, but Jenny in particular, it seems. Possibly because she seems the most sort of wide-eyed and innocent, the least cynical of the group. Anywho, yes. How much of this do I want to draw? There's a lot of backing and forth thing. Okay, so first things first. It's an all-terrain vehicle, including the ocean. Yes, when I say all-terrain, they really mean it. That makes it more gross. I never said it made it less gross. It's Jessie McCree we're talking about. So, we arrive at the missile base. It's like big old concrete walls and missile silos and stuff like that. So it's big old complex, and there's this building here that takes you down into the silo itself. Then there's some fences. And over here are just stacks and stacks of missiles. I am lazy. Missiles. And this is fencing. Yes, this is important. I wish it wasn't, but it was. It is. And there's like, you know, barbed wire off the top of it. And there's this big old gate here. So they made a chunky metal. Can't break into this place. No, sir. Or madam. Or whatever the non-binary equivalent of sir and madam is. Your Excellency. Already some barbed wire up here as well. Stop you climbing over. Yeah, and there's a couple of doors. To go into the compound, there's also another big old door here. Because what is a big old military complex if it doesn't have two entrances? Double the security. Okay, so, and this is a parking area, so there's a bunch of vehicles parked here. Yes, it's Final Fantasy, it's time for me to draw parking spaces. Fantasy escapism. Look at that big old reinforced vehicle that absolutely doesn't look like a toy car. It's fine. Is there handicap parking? It's not visibly labelled, but we can only see one half of the car park. So, although you would assume that it would be next to the entrance. So the nice answer would be yes, but off camera. The not nice answer would be yes, and it's very inconvenient. Yes, I didn't have to parallel park. No, but they do have to park in between two other vehicles. But we're just going to assume this is the only vehicle here, because I can't be bothered to draw... I was about to say another vehicle. I don't think this is really classifiable as a vehicle. I don't want to have to draw another cube. This perspective's all off as well. Doesn't matter. Copy it. This does not deserve to be copied. Yeah, so all our characters get out, and it just so happens, isn't lovely coincidence. Brilliant. There happens to be 4 Galbadian uniforms in the vehicle. So the 3 Galbadian vehicles in the uniform, and they all fit. Isn't that great? So to put them on so that they can go into the base. That's convenient, I know, it's great. They're also let into the base because they're in a Galbadian vehicle. Luckily there's no particular difference between prison transport and nuclear bomb transport. Yeah, anyway. So we go into the base. R3. It's a tramp, rub the lamp in a panic. Again, if there is ever consensus in the chat, we will rub the lamp. Only when you have the ability to, though. Guard isn't paid enough to check ID. That's fair. It's probably quite a low income. Yeah. So we're making our way downtown. Now I'm going to draw the 3 of them standing by. Not doing an awful lot. Because they're gonna be doing an awful lot in this, and I don't want to have to draw them doing an awful lot. So they're just all gonna be standing and reacting to things passively. There's never going to be a consensus they hate lamps. The lamp is never compulsory. So we may very well get to the end of the game without ever rubbing the lamp. For the sake of context, I will say, I usually rub the lamp as soon as I get it. But you don't have to. Is that for the purposes of making sure the bad thing happens as soon as possible? Or is it for the purposes of making sure the good thing happens as soon as possible? Or is it for the purposes of just getting it out of the way? Making our way downtown, walking fast, seeing a sexual predator, walking faster. We can rub the lamp before the final boss. We can. That is the thing you can do. Hope it's clear that she's saluting here. And falling backwards as well. That's not how necks work. Playing Pokemon and the stupid Shinx is cheating. What's a Shinx? My memory of Pokemon is decaying over time. Have I ever seen that before? I don't feel like I've seen that before. Well, it's apparently Gen 4, so there's a decent opportunity for me to have not seen it before. No, it's not Baby Jinx. Baby Jinx is something else. Smoochum, yes. Look at it, sassy little thing. There's a Shinx. That over-designed little thing. An electric dark dog cat. Well, that solved that problem. A nice electric dark dog cat. Cheery got to keep her shoulder plate. I was supposed to be a lion. That makes sense. That's Simba-esque. I was cheating because the opponent's one new spell at level 12, which shouldn't know because the shiny... your Shinx, sorry, is level 13, doesn't know that. I mean, could be a TM, I guess. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, it highlights. It started to highlight the term that it doesn't like. That makes sense. Also, I did tone down the veracity of auto mod, so it might be a little more lenient now with things like cowards and baby dinosaurs. Who knows? I don't. It was fucker, yes. Yeah, there we go. I guess the former can be used as a sort of general adjective, but the latter is mostly used as an insult. That's my assumption. And they're trying to curb on abuse. But, you know, general description is... There are plenty of people who swear every other sentence, you know? You may be able to dinosaur a permitted term. Good on ya. Think a better explanation is that boss is not smart. I guess so. I mean, I can't argue with that. Right, rough team assembled. Ho ho ho, that's still going. Yep, no, had to add permitted term ho ho ho. Not even ho, just the whole ho 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 needed to be permitted. Okay, so this is our infiltration team, consisting of Jenny, Cheery, and Velma. Santa's still not allowed. Oh no. It's because it's still November. In December that changes. They're trying to stop people talking about Christmas too soon. For which I am, I encourage. that level of self-restraint. This isn't exactly calming music, is it? Happy Halloween! So, yes, we're infiltrating this place. Now, the first thing we do is we walk past the soldier. As you do, soldier just guarding a doorway into a place. And you have a choice. Haha, you have a choice. An element of choice in the game. Who would have thunk it? Do you want to leg it past the guard as fast as physically possible? Do you want to walk by nonchalantly as if nothing is wrong at all? Or do you just want to straight up just attack them straight away? They may not necessarily be exactly the options that are presented to you, but they basically are, so it's fine. No, you go away. No, that's better. Walk by, what's the point of disguises otherwise? Yes. It's a game, it's got to give you choice, even if those choices are incredibly stupid. We're meant to be here so nothing can go wrong. Okay, so you walk slowly and nonchalantly by. And just as you're beginning to leave, he goes, "Ah! You lot! Wait there!" Now, having done that, you have another choice. Are you going to say yes? Or are you going to say, "Screw it! Let's kill him"? Yeah. Magical gravity-defying stand. Oops. Good day, fellow soldier. Isn't it a fine day for soldering? He says, "Yeah, I've been doing some metal work myself. I like murder, but doing otherwise seems incredibly stupid." Yeah. Okay. And he goes, "Good job. A lot of people running backwards and forwards here. Keep up the good work." And then he lets you go. Congratulations, you have not set off the alarm. Event number 1 complete. Now, event number 2. You're trying to... what order does this all happen in? Doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, so basically what there are 3 places here of significance. There is the power room, which this guy was guarding, which you've just walked past. There is the missile silo, where all the missiles are loaded in and fired. And there is the control room, where all of the things like the trajectory, the target, all that sort of stuff, that's all programmed. We want to work out a way of actually, if not stopping, at least screwing up the next launch. So what they do is they try and find a way, they start to try and manipulate a computer, but somebody comes up and says, "Oh, you don't have the authority to do that. Go ahead, go give the people a hand in the missile silo." So you go and do that, and you go to the missile silo, and you find you will be back, but not yet. And you go and find that. No, hang on, that's not true. Okay. Give me a sec. So here's a big old missile thing on tiny little wheels. Very sturdy casters. And you find another soldier who looks remarkably similar to this soldier, but is has slightly longer hair and a big old nose. And they say, "Oi, you lot! Oh wait, hang on. You're not the people I was expecting. Can you go and find the people who are supposed to be coming in here and helping loading the missiles because they're slacking off again? I don't know where they are. Just go and find them. I've got to try and sort out all these missiles." So you say, "Okay, let's do that." I don't know why you're helping load the missiles, but you do. I can't remember the order in which these things happen, but it doesn't matter, so why am I worrying about it? Anyway, so we go off and we find the two people who are slacking off. Two people who are slacking off are just sort of standing by railing. Because, you know, these are people. They might be the enemy, but they're still people. They might be literally faceless goons. I wish he was Jivon. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, how remiss of me. So I was right when I said that there are 4 soldiers' uniforms. Cool. Keep forgetting about Jive. How can I forget about Jive? He's like the best character in the game. I, for one, am appalled. Or am I appalled? Appalled. Four soldier uniforms, one of which has 2 sets of boots. That's actually just 1 set of boots. It's that if you cut them in half, you get 2 smaller sets of boots. It's like worms. Anywho, Jive's here. So. So this lot are here, and you remind them that they've got to go and do a thing. And they say... okay, cool. We can't do the job, though, until someone sorts out the power. Because... you know, we need the power to be able to actually move the missiles. And they say, do you mind going to the power room and sorting out the missiles? To which we say, sure. For reasons beyond me. At this point, we're more helping the process than hindering, but you know. Why do we do their jobs? I don't know. I don't know. My assumption is that we think if we start doing busy work, we can actually gain the trust enough to be able to get to the actual sensitive stuff. So we now would need to return back to the power room. That's not the power room. Power room, which is guided by this guy. What do you want to tell him? Do you want to tell him, oi, we've been told to come and sort out the power? Or do you tell him, look over there, and then beat him up? Says that we can mess up the power and they wouldn't be able to do anything. Oi, oi, oi. Tell him again to sort out the power. And he's like, finally. Been waiting for people to come and sort out the power. I'm gonna go and have a break. So he wanders off and you go into the power room. You then enter the power room. Got a bunch of monitors and switches and buttons, things like that. And then like over here there's a window and then there's this weird sort of buzzing power core thing going on. Okay, now you have a choice. Do you want to very carefully press buttons, or do you want to smash it with your face? Just hit buttons as hard as you possibly can. Probably breaking machines. Naturally, there's a massive energy stone powering the entire thing. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but it makes more sense than probably what it is. Because, you know, Final Fantasies are supposed to be all about the crystals. And as yet, not a lot of crystal action going on. Vote face! Hi, miss. How you doing? So I don't really plan on doing stickers for this series, but I'm tempted to do one of Jive in the uniform. Second said vote. Okay, you smash your face into all of the control panels. And what happens? Everything goes dark. Your instinct says destroy the place because that would make sense so they can no longer do stuff you want to be able to do, but that makes actual sense, so let's do things carefully. No, we had 2 votes for smash. Exhausted but good. How's you? I'm alright. I'm alive. Mostly. No, careful, everything's gone dark now. Ooh, spooky. You hear soldiers coming your way, the people who just left their post, and then everything went wrong. Am I alive? Am I alive? Am I alive? So, yeah, you hear the people coming back. This is turning into, like, Forest of Doom or something. You hear people coming back. Do you want to... What do you want to do? Do you want to tell them, something's gone wrong in the electricity room, you better go try and sort it out? Or do you say, haha, we finally done the thing we wanted to do, now let's kill everyone? Yeah. You have a lot of opportunities in this game to just suddenly go, screw you. This music does sound like you're on waiting for, or having to do a test or something, and you don't know any of the answers. Oh no, there's a power surge. Better go to get to electrical fellow soldier goons. Fake it till you make it. Okay, so in this instance, you leave room. Oh, no. This way, like that. The soldier comes back and is like, what's going on? And you say, there's something going wrong in the electricity room. You better go in there and check. It's all dark though, be careful. And then he runs in. And then you run in after him and beat him up. And then leave. My assumption is that you don't kill him. You just knock him out while he's busy trying to sort out the electrical stuff. So yeah, that happens. But nobody else is any the wiser. There's no conflict was heard, no alarm bells are ringing. You are still undercover. By the way, miss, we're in a missile base because missiles have been fired at either the space potato or the space cheese, we're not sure yet. And Team Jenny is solving the problem at the missile base, and Team Simon has gone off to the space potato to get everyone out, just in case it's still there. We're doing a hitman. So far, no screwdrivers have been thrown at heads. I, for one, am disappointed. It's like what happens when you GM. Yeah, so power's now down. That's good. You now return to the missile silo. The people at the missile silo were slightly annoyed because they can't move things. So there are literally people pushing the silo into place. I'm quite pleased with this darkness effect. Yeah, and they basically say, "Oi, can you help us push this missile silo in place?" You don't actually have a choice, I think, in this particular instance. You help push the missile silo in place. Because it would be suspicious to say, "No, I'm not going to do that." But fortunately, once you are done pushing the missile silo in place, the person in charge, this person, says, "Oh, by the way, if the power's gone down, we have enough emergency power to fire things, but we're going to have to reset all of the data for like the targets and all that sort of stuff. So there's a computer terminal just outside this room. Go on there, make sure all of the data's correct. The password is TM. Go sort that out." So we go and do that, and we go to the computer terminal, and we use the password TM, and we... I've just realised there is definitely a Pokemon theme in this. One of our characters is named Pikachu. Our summons are named Pokemon, and the villain is called TM. Just realised that. So yeah, we do that, and we, like good soldiers, we make sure all of the data is correct, and then we take that data and we toss it in the recycling bin and empty the recycling bin. Unfortunately, we can't change the target of the missiles, which are now aimed squarely at the space potato, which unfortunately means that the space cheese might not be doing too well because it just had missiles fired at it. There is a reason I called this stream what I did. TMs are everyone's enemy. We learned Spark. But we can change the accuracy of the missiles. We can destabilize them somehow so that they're less likely to hit. Because that's how missiles work. So we drop down the stabilization all the way down. Yoshink's just evolved it. It still doesn't know Spark. That might be because you evolved it. As far as I remember, the trade-off between evolving is if you evolve, you get more stats, but if you don't evolve, you get more moves. That was the one of the few things I knew about Pokemon. Oh wow, Frame Man's been busy. I haven't even seen that. So yeah, we reduce the accuracy, and it's at that point that people at the base start noticing that maybe we're not actually doing things properly. And finally, our game is rumbled because we're too short for a stormtrooper, and we get into a fight with some soldiers, and they set the alarm off. And then, but luckily for us, we've uploaded all the data, and all the missiles are going to be all wibbly wobbly now. Doesn't know any electric moves apart from charge. It's got yellow in it. It has to know electric moves. Also, why are its pupils the same color as its irises? That's weird. Yes, so we leave. Oh no, that's what we do. We've uploaded all the stuff, but we have also activated the base's self-destruct system, because that's what you do when you're trying to break stuff. And that's why people rumble us, because turning on the self-destruct system is a bit suspicious. So yeah. So now we need to get out of the building that's going to explode, that's full of missiles, that's going to explode even more. So we get out and we go to the parking station, this place with the excellent vehicles. All the other cars that were there have now driven away, luckily. Do you like my car, miss? It's perfectly well rendered. So we get out and we go in our car. Mission well done. Mission success. That one's Jenny. So we're going to get in our car. Best Ding Deng Kai I've ever seen puts Brum to shame. Ah! I had, for about 20 years, completely forgotten Brum exists, and now you have reminded me. I want to look up Brum now. Ah, it's quite creepy. Oh, look at that. Look at that perfectly innocent car. Look at it go. It's not harboring secrets at all. Yeah, it's a tiny little thing. Little possessed tiny car. What even is it? I don't know. What's it supposed to be? Is it Pinocchio of cars? Anyway. Enough Brum. Cheerio's going to the PC. At the moment you can get your grubby little hands on another electric or dark Pokemon. Is this just a Pokemon time, or is this a Nuzlocke again? It's much smaller than you remember. Oh, you remember Brum. Brum is truly international. I don't know, it felt like just a British thing to me. That everyone else in the world would go, what on earth are you talking about? Like Art Attack, or Zap. Yeah. Just Pokemon haven't got the courage to try another Nuzlocke just yet. They're emotional times. You know, Brum, you had a DVD of Brum. Those two words should not exist in the same sentence. Brum is a VHS through and through. But yeah, what am I talking about? Anyway, yes, so things happen. Can't lose another chicken just yet. Oh. Yes, so we go to the car. Unfortunately for us, something else also comes in, and that is a tank kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It looks like a big battery. Perspective. It's got a big old Gatling gun on the front of it. And yeah, we have to fight it. It's ostensibly like a tank thing. There's soldiers in it and they're fighting us and all that sort of stuff. And it gets progressively more damaged as the fight goes on. So I hope you set a long timer on that self-destruct sequence, because if you didn't, and you're still fighting this when it goes off, you're still in the base, and you're gonna go boom, and you're gonna have to start all over again. I don't know how it moves. It looks like it hovers. So you're just playing for Pokemon Pearl. Cool. Now that's why you're talking about Gen 4 Pokemon I don't know. You youngsters and your Gen 4 Pokemon, honestly. What's wrong with good old-fashioned Gen 5? Wait, what? So yeah, you fight a big old six-pack tank. Gen 4's good. What is the best Pokemon from Gen 4? Convince me that I would like Gen 4. Because so far, all I've seen is the one that you just showed me, and it looks over-designed as hell. It's borderline Digimon. So I need a palate cleanser. He says as if Gen 5 was any better. Did Gen 5 have Trubbish, or was that Gen 6? Because if it had Trubbish, then there's no way of convincing me Gen 5 isn't good. It also had Litwick. There you go. It's again still just a bit over-designed. Just a bit too many sort of random geometric lines, you know? As starters go, kind of interesting. Not gonna complain about that. As a starter, I've never really liked the starters. That's not bad. It's more interesting than most starters anyway. Love people who watch the VOD and have no idea what's going on. I also imagine there's little windows here so people can look out. Probably circular windows. Soldier here. Yeah, what's going on? Anyway, we fight this. Bits of it explode. Billowing smoke coming out of it. And then we win the fight. It doesn't itself explode, but after we won the fight, we realised that this thing is in front of this door, and this door won't open. You literally have to walk backwards and forwards a couple of times before the game registers that you understand this and continues the game. And then Yep. A stack of missiles pops up. And they fire off. Into the distance, and you can only hope that you did enough to stop them from actually smashing into the space potato. Yeah. And you realise you can't escape, and the self-destruct sequence is about to explode, and everyone's going to die. And now we return to the space potato. That's the end of that story. Next, back at the space potato. Well, speaking of over-designed. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the thing. I have seen the little Snorlaxy thing. It's not terrible design. Not a fan of torpedo shark gremlin. Even its teeth are just like oddly geometric. You know what I mean? Munchlax, that's the one, yeah. There's little helmet dinosaurs. Again, they look like Digimon. Like, I'm not a... Again, Gen 5 has a lot of crap in it. Gen 1 had a lot of crap in it. Munchlax's baby and you love it. That's perfectly acceptable. Speaking of over-designed, what the hell's that? That looks like something from Off. Why are its middle fingers a different colour? Why does it have a hot dog middle finger? What's going on? This is its theme tune. Krogunk is a good boy. I'm sure they're a good boy, they're just over-designed. Later on the news, a huge object from space fell, destroying several townships. Yeah. What doesn't look like a Digimon? Pidgey. Charmander? The ones that just don't have random geometric shapes stuck on their design. They don't have unusually sort of bright tonal differences in strange zigzag patterns, and that's what I mean by over-designed. Just unnecessary details that don't really work with the thing that it's trying to represent. They're just there to make it look more interesting. Which is fine. It's just like, I look at it and go, it'd be better if that wasn't there. You know, Digimon playing Cyber Sleuth, it's a trip. Again, Digimon has its own thing going on. I found, while I was going through my Pokemon cards, I found one Digimon card It's not even a Digimon, it's a piece of coral. I don't know what it is. Also, hi Plamps, how you doing? Right. So, quick recap for Plamps. We escaped the prison. Missiles were fired. Either at the Space Potato or the Space Cheese. We have discovered subsequently that it was the Space Cheese, and that more missiles are going to be fired at the Space Potato. The group split off into two parts, female and male, because basically to keep the female characters from being from the unnecessary attentions of Jessie McCree. That's again this kind of cute, but what's with just the weird lumpy bits? Like, I don't know. Again, there are almost certainly plenty of counterexamples in early gens, but Poopmon turning into man into monkey onesie. What? What do I want? I want something simple. An orb? Nah. We had that. It's called Jigglypuff. What was I saying? Yes, we went to the missile base to try and stop the missiles. We couldn't stop the missiles, but we could make it so that they were less accurate. The missile base is now on a self-destruct mission because we set the self-destruct and we can't get out. Now we're going to swap to the other group, who have made their way back to the Space Potato. I'm going to do a very similar thing here. Of drawing these characters in a pose, in a line, so that they can encounter a bunch of nonsense. Although, to be fair, most of this nonsense is the same nonsense, so shouldn't take too long. But we are about to hear the magic word. So everyone get excited for that. And no, it's got nothing to do with the lamp. I'm gonna reshuffle this music because I think we've heard the same 5 pieces of music over and over again. We heard that. Okay, that's different. Okay. All I said was I wanted you to find me a Gen 4 Pokemon that will convince me that Gen 4 is something worth paying attention to. And so far, it hasn't. Does that mean it's bad? No. Just means I'm a person of surprisingly particular tastes. Bug snacks, is that a magic word? No. I am aware of Bidoof. Don't bug snacks, save yourselves. I was never going to bug snacks. I completely missed Gen 4 and only got bits of them later on. I got Gen 1, some of Gen 2, Gen 5, some of Gen 6. That's it. Gen 5 was your first. Gen 4 was your first game. Ooh. Bidoof is not. There's just there are. It's close. There are a couple of things in there that annoy me, like the bright red the small bright red nose. If it was bigger, it would be fine. If it was duller, it would be fine. Just the fact that it's small and bright red just annoys me. Bug Snacks is a trip and not a kid's game despite its cutesy look. It's a pain. What is... Because there was a big thing about Bug Snacks and I missed it the first time round and now people are going on about it again. Gen 4 is probably one of your faves. Cranidos was your favourite Pokemon for a while. Cranidos. That sounds like a laxative. Oh, Helmet Boy. You know, it doesn't look like a helmet. Now that I look at the art of it, it looks like its head has been wrapped around a ball. And that's even weirder. It looks like it's growing out of something else. It didn't come out of an egg. The egg is coming out of it. The little dinosaur you accused of being a Digimon. It looks like a Digimon. Just looks like a Digimon. It's not my fault. His eyes maybe are too big for a Digimon, but or too simple. Bugsnax trailer did the good hype thing, mostly because of the Kero Kero Bonito song. You could be making me say anything at this point. It's a game, the song for its announcement was amazing. Ah, hype. Angry effects, that's fine. Like, I don't expect people to like Trubbish and Litwick. These are my tastes. I'll be honest, Gen 1 was absolutely my generation, then I went back to it and thought, cool, some of these designs are pretty naff. So, you know. I have my tastes and they may not be popular. And that is fine, because I have never been popular. Trubbish and Litwick are good though. I'm glad you think so. To be fair, I never hated Trubbish, but I was always like, rubbish bag, it's fine. You know, it's like Magnemite, it's a magnet. Why does the bottom one have a triangle on its head? It's just stuff like that. Why does that need to be there? It's just tiny little details. See, that's alright. That's cute. I get that. There's no real... It has the little eyelash thing, but that just sort of works because his eyes, just different shape eyes. There's no random triangles or zigzags. It's a gender difference thing? That's even more annoying. Mantike's cool. Is that a Gen 4? Mantike Kakuna. I just remember it from the Pokemon rap, the BDG one. Centret, Bergmite, Mantike. No, Centret, Bergmite, Pigmite, Mantike Kakuna. That's the one. Sudowoodo, Wishy Washy, Popplio, Bubble. Okay, so that one's the best so far. What on earth am I looking at? What on earth am I looking at? Burn Gen 4. Burn it down to the ground. I knew of that one's existence, unfortunately. Old man Chris yells at Cloud. Oh my god, what is that? That is just like, I think I'm right in saying that's the worst offender yet. For just unnecessary nonsense. There's a good design in all of these. And there's definitely a good design in there, but it's just buried under so much random geometry. I know I am old man yelling at Cloud. It's purely taste. It's purely a matter of taste. I'm not saying anything's good or bad. I just don't like these sort of oddly over-designed ones. You know, I like Litwick. Little Milty Cattle Boy. So I know if that was all that was, Rotom, isn't it? If that was all that was, that'd be fine. Perfectly happy with that. But I do happen to know it also turns into a washing machine. Which is very Digimon. That's close. That's not too bad. Again, just like the clashing, the bright red bit in the middle and the blue bit in the head. Choose to believe Tangrowth doesn't exist. I only vaguely remember Tangrowth. I always found it weird when this idea of like you had to go to a different place to realise that Pokemon that you previously thought didn't evolve, evolved. It's like, what were you doing to them before? Tangrowth. I'm not averse to the idea of Tangrowth. It's fine. Oh my god! Stop showing me Digimon! Washing machine, lawnmower, TV, think just stuff. I think that's the sort of general idea of it. It's a very It's gonna sound ever so slightly racist. It's a very Japanese idea. Do you know what I mean? That's something that sort of feels like it fits much better in sort of, you know, Japanese entertainment than it would do over here. But where is that video of Regigus freaking out? I don't know. I mean, if I was that thing, I would freak out. Just being it. Isn't Rotom your phone in the new games? There's something like that. There's noises, Hoopa and the Clash of Ages. Am I going to click on this? Sorry, people watching the VOD. Alright then. That happened. You put the Rotom phone on the Rotom bike and he goes Neum. You make the Rotoms kiss and they go Neum. Doesn't turn into the machine, it possesses it. But it only possesses things of the same colour? They're all orange, aren't they? I've had a Rotom lawnmower in the wild. Ooh. Did you catch it? Right, back to something that isn't Pokemon. Immediately draws Pikachu. It turns into the colour when Rotom possesses it. So what happens to the body of the Pokemon when that happens? I know I'm trying to get into the details of Pokemon, and that's just like, that's always a bad idea. Whoops. It's Pinches and Patches theme. How have we done an hour and a half of this stream already? Nothing's happened so far. Rotom's a ghost. Oh, okay, so all rules are off, I guess. For the next entry, its electric-like body can enter some kinds of machines and take control in order to make mischief. Oh, it's like a poltergeist kind of thing. This funny music again. No rank time. But if I had plasma, apparently by talking about Pokemon, I assume there's a split there and not all of those sentences run into each other. They're probably in reference to something I just said and completely forgot that I just said. Because, you know, it's me. This music feels very Final Fantasy X. Know what I mean? I can imagine this playing in like the Cloister of Trials. The last one was answering your question about how an hour and a half has passed and nothing has happened. Oh, right. You don't need to make me feel bad about it. Oh, we're like... I've just realised we're like 2 streams away from just... abject misery. Oh, that's kind of cute. The stripe's a bit unnecessary, but I can get over that. Listen, you're having a good time. Not great because you don't appreciate your Pokemon. A good time nonetheless. Yeah. If it wasn't for that stripe. Again, this obsession with just like, can't have a simple thing. Gotta add a stripe, gotta add a zigzag, gotta add a circle, gotta add a triangle. It's gotta be a different colour to everything else. That's the thing that bothers me. Little kids like bright colours. They're going to have bright colours. You just don't need every colour. When I was a kid, we made do with one colour. We played Pokemon in black and white, and we didn't complain about it. Or I guess more accurately, black and green. Because really gonna start a fight with geometry. It's not geometry. I've got no issue with geometry. I've got an issue with people using it in places it doesn't need to be used. You're older than me. How could you be older than Grandpa? Grandpa is the oldest age. Why did I choose to draw the gun? Hey, pinches and patches again. It's bloody random. It has forgotten how to random. I'll do gun. That'll do. Right, we're here. Random can repeat. Technically, random can repeat a lot. I am aware of this. But it's just like, this is the second random program that we've set up. And we have heard approximately 10% of the soundtrack. That was the thing they did in iTunes, wasn't it? When they first released it, they had a purely random feature. And people were saying, this isn't random, it keeps making patterns. And they had to instigate a system whereby it made a random thing and then checked to see whether it was sufficiently random or not, so it no longer became random because people find patterns in things that are random. So they had to deliberately make things that make patterns people can't detect. Yeah, so okay. Time for a question. Oh yes. Do you remember these guys? I like them. They wear robes, so I don't have to draw much. We're doing a Final Fantasy draw-through, by the way. Just as a quick reminder, because I'd forgotten. I don't really know what's going on with these hats. It took me ages to realise that it was a hat and it wasn't just the head of a weird creature. Anyway, you arrive at the Space Potato and everybody's running around like mad. Do you see what I mean? Something different, please. It's similar but different. I'll go with it. The harpsichord is a motif in the game. It's fine. You remember Bagler Worm? There are many Bagler Worms. Anywho, so everybody's running around, and you assume, quite naturally, I think, that people have heard that there are missiles heading towards the Space Potato. And that they're running around in panic. That's an understandable thing to have happened. However, Bagler Worm comes up to you and shouts, "Whose side are you on?" And you say, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, what? Who are you?" And he says, "Whose side are you on? Are you on the Headmaster's side or are you on Garden Master NORG's side?" Which is your answer? Are you with the Headmaster, or are you with NORG? Whomstov? NORG. We have arrived at the point of the game where I can start saying NORG! Frame Man, please. We can tell whose side Frame Man's on. Headmaster, Sooth? Guess we're on the Headmaster's side? We're on the... There's a missile heading this way, get out? I mean... People are running around like mad. They're not... No one's listening to anyone. We will have NORG. Well, we have 2 for Headmaster, 1 for NORG, 1 for a sensible approach to there being a missile heading towards the base. On the side of the ones that oppose the Frame Man. Well, I guess you say you're on the Headmaster's side. Consequences of you saying that are that Egglebox, Bagler Worm, whatever it was, Whamleberg, Christaberg, says, "Ah, you're traitors then," and then attacks you, and you fight him. Actually, you don't fight him. He summons monsters, and then he runs away. Bagler Worm, Egglebox. It was look. I've had to remember 5 games worth of character names at this point. My brain is just mush. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's the point. I should probably start making a start on the story for the next interactive one. Yes. So it turns out that these guys, for there are many of them, are on the side of Garden Master NORG, somebody you have hitherto not heard of. And not on the side of Headmaster Flyer. There is apparently some sort of civil war going on between the two. Egglebox is Noodle the Box and the Hitman's Child. Egglebox. Was it not Egglebox? No, there was Le Egg, wasn't there? There was Le Egg, Hitman Egg, and Egg Noodles, Egg Fried Rice. Is this really the time for a civil war, fellas? Turns out they don't know there's a missile heading towards the garden, so potato. So what you end up doing, this one's relatively straightforward, is you discover that the headmaster is in hiding. And they're going around the whole Space Potato trying to find out where the headmaster is. So that seems like a huge oversight. I mean, I guess we don't have an early warning system. You know, maybe the missiles were out of commission for so long, like the satellite dish, and we just didn't think to have an early warning system for them anymore. Do I have time to finish this part of the story? Probably not. So I'm just going to explain what's happening here. The weird stuff will have to wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow? Next week. Okay. Cheerio and Spark! Yay! The spark of your breakfast, sparking up your day to give you the energy to keep going. Cheerios. Buy Cheerios. They're not particularly tasty. So, yes. So, you take it upon yourself, if you remember all the way back to, like, first stream. You know, back in these happy days with Pikachu and... I already knew they were going to be the two silly ones before we drew anything. If you remember... Hey, look, there they are. See? Culty people. They were there from the beginning. Here. There are 8 prongs of the Space Potato, and you have to check each and every one of them to see whether or not the headmaster is there. So, we have... well, I guess which ones do you want to do first? There is the infirmary. Well, the exit obviously isn't a prong. That's how you came in. You have the infirmary. You have the quad, i.e. the sort of social area. You have the cafeteria, where there are never any hot dogs. You have the dormitories. You have the parking garage. You have the place with all the T-Rexes in it. And you have the library. Do we have to? Yes, we do. And boy howdy, is it going to be satisfying. You're going to be so satisfied by the answer to this problem. But the place with all the T-Rex. That's cool. So you go to the place with the T-Rex. And what you find, because if there's any way to make people look evil, it's having them be nasty to kids. Oh yes. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of you. Is we have a somewhat mature student. with 2 very young students. And they are being harassed and or having monsters sent at by the cult man. This is how drawings work, isn't it? Yeah. Somewhat mature student, aka they're 13 instead of 12. Absolutely. So yeah, this is how you make the bad guys look bad, is by having them attack children. Why is this happening in the place where all of the T-Rexes are? I don't know. There's grass here, it's fine. To be fair, this character is probably like 12 or 13. As is always in media, if you want to draw a young boy, there has to be wearing shorts, and if you want to draw a young girl, they have to be wearing a skirt. That is the law of cartoon children. Because shorts are comfy and easy to wear. A student and 2 mini beefs, absolutely. They let 19-year-olds be teachers. They let 17-year-olds be teachers. Yeah, so you interject. T-Rexes are also here. But they're not doing much. How do you draw a claw waving? Oh no, it's just here, don't worry about it. So yeah, you save the kids. And hooray! Turns out Headmaster's not here. Why would a Headmaster be hiding amongst T-Rexes? That's a silly idea. Next place! So it's not in the exit. It's not in the T-Rex place. Hot dogs! Hot dogs. Okay. You go to the land of hot dogs. I think it's even less interesting. And you find some people. Turns out he's not here either. There might be a fight here. It's not particularly interesting. The one thing you do that does happen here is if you happen to bring Pikachu here, Pikachu's like, cool, have you got any hot dogs? And they're like, yes, we do have hot dogs. And Pikachu's, oh, finally they have hot dogs. And then they look behind the counter and go, oh, sorry, no, we used them all up. And Pikachu gets depressed because he really wants hot dogs. I believe in the localizations of these games it is slightly different. So like I think in the German version it's like Bratwurst or something. Might be wrong about that. Anyway, cafeteria is boring. Next. She's floating. Pikachu being a mood. Pikachu's entire character arc in this game revolves around trying to get hot dogs. I'm gonna do infirmary, then library. Okay. Let's save a bit of time here. So we get to the infirmary, and there is... Oh, we don't even get to the infirmary. We get to the corridor outside the infirmary. And we find... a bunch of students fighting against a bunch of culty people. There's a full-on battle happening in the corridor. Which I will represent by these people pointing at each other. This person is going to have that beard that all preteen boys have. Just screaming objection. Objection! 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 You don't have a widow's peak, you're too young for that. Yeah, so you have a choice here to either interject and fight the culty people yourselves, or just let the students do it. It's at least 14, or just an early bloomer. Also very lanky, doesn't quite fit the clothes anymore, so clearly had a growth spurt. Also on tiptoes for some reason, just to assert dominance. Look at this awful drawing. This is why you don't zoom in when you're drawing, kids. Look at the whole thing. Oh, it's Sharpie. It's stubble, honestly. I'm growing a beard. Think they can handle themselves? They're soldiers in training, right? Cool, you let them fight themselves. I actually don't know what happens if you do that. I don't think I've ever done it. My assumption is that they get injured and the fight is over. But ultimately they win. At which point, going back again to stream 1, this character, who I'm not going to draw again because I can't remember really what they're like. Dr. D. Octa comes out of the infirmary and chastises absolutely bloody everyone for getting involved in this whole stupid mess. And they ask us, okay, which side are you on? You bloody silly people. Oh. What happened there? And we say, we're not on anyone's side. We've just got here. There are missiles coming towards this base, and we're trying to find the headmaster so that we can warn everyone. She says, oh, finally, somebody's actually speaking some sort of sense. Why didn't you help the students? To which our response was, admin. And Dr. Deocta says, well, I'm going to look after everyone who was injured, and I mean everyone. Not having any of this silly fighting nonsense in a military academy. And yeah, you have to go find the headmaster somewhere else. They're not here. So we do that. Then we go to the library. There's a fight in the library. He's not there. Nothing interesting happens. So that's that sorted. There's only 3 left. Can anyone guess where he is? Cars? Ooh, good choice. Good choice. Good choice. So you have a fight in a corridor, as you always do. Once you're done with the fight in the corridor, though, you get into the parking lot, the garage, and you see the headmaster standing there. He then goes a bit weird. And then it's discovered that a bunch of students set up a hologram, because holograms exist in this world apparently. Set up a hologram of the headmaster to distract NORG's allies, to make them think that he's here, but he's not. The disc's crashed, yeah. So, turns out, he wasn't here either. But close, you were close, by which I mean that you saw something that looked like the headmaster. I'll give you a clue. If you go to quad or sleep, very similar thing happens to what happened in the library, i.e. absolutely nothing. So, where do you go? Oh, look, they were so happy. Start of the game. Well, most of them were. Well, one of them was. Home. We'll get to that. Give it a couple of streams. We'll get to that. Oh, I can't wait for that. I hope I deliver that with as much sincerity as it deserves. Yeah, where do you want to go? Maybe I should rephrase the question. If you went back to your school and you wanted to find the headmaster, where would you look? His office! Wonderful! So after exhausting literally every other possibility, you decide to go and actually look in his office. Turns out he's there! Who'd have thought it? And he seems relatively cheerful. that is an appropriate thing. He's a little bit injured. He's a little bit worse for wear, but there's a very dumb coup. So the logic, and I use that word very loosely, is that why would they look in the office? That clearly he's not going to stay in his office, is he? He's going to go hide somewhere else. So they never looked there. Because he was never going to stay in his, like, why would you be so stupid as to stay in the office? Obviously, you know. Again, appropriate. So yeah, he's here. And you, being the dutiful soldiers that you are, inform him that there are bombs coming his way, and he's not entirely enthusiastic about the prospect of a whole bunch of missiles coming here. Although we don't know missiles are coming here at the moment because we don't know what happened to Missile Team. I mean, we do, but Simon doesn't. Why haven't we named a character Garfunkel yet? Carbuncle would have been ideal. But fortunately for us, the headmaster thinks he has some sort of plan that might just get us out of this scrape, because this old space potato, when it was built, it wasn't built from scratch. Oh no. It was built on top of existing something or other. And we don't really know what that existing something or other it really involves, but we do know that it was some sort of shelter. So if we can go into the bowels of the space potato, that's a weird sentence, we might be able to find something that will help us, some sort of shield, some sort of shelter thingy-mabob. Because apparently it was an ancient civilization who knew a lot about technology and they just left everything lying around. So that's what we're going to do next time, is we're going to go into the bowels of the space potato while there's a civil war going on, while missiles are coming, to try and find the possibility that there is a shield somewhere that we can use to help the space potato not be killed by missiles. Does that sound like a good plan to you? From the man who hid in his own office? Seems like the worst plan? Good. I believe we do... No, we don't tell everyone to evacuate. Because of reasons... later. We sure this is a military academy? I'm not sure of anything. There isn't even like a firing range or anything. Where do they train with weapons? I don't know. I guess in the T-Rex place? Well, I guess the idea is that it's difficult to evacuate everyone while this civil war's happening. Because who's going to listen? So, oh, this is a plan from the other side. Who's going to believe it, I guess? It's just to get us out of the space potato so that everyone else can take over. You know? You feel like you really missed something? Why has he got a bin on his head? I can't remember. It's just been a thing. Because he's trash, was that it? I'm sure there was a more specific reason than that. Other than cowboy hats are hard to draw. They said to put him in the bin. Oh, that might have been it. Civil War people also don't want to get blown up, maybe. But again, like, if you know, something's over the intercom and they're like, Everybody evacuate because there's a missile coming. I was like, oh, I'm not evacuating. That sounds like a trap. That's convenient that apparently a missile's coming right in the middle of a fight. You know? We're standing our ground. Kaboom. Your favourite character is not Trash. You've heard such from Drawthrough all this time. Why is Jesse McCree your favourite character? To be fair to Jesse McCree, the bit where they're having like a crisis of confidence, right at the bit where they're supposed to do the sniping thing, they're quite relatable in that moment. In that kind of like, you know, you keep telling yourself, yeah, you're going to be fine, you'll be cool on the outside, don't worry about it. But then when you actually get there, you're like, oh crap, I have no idea what I'm doing. Because he's a cowboy and you were in a phase at the time. That's fair. He does have a ponytail, so I did used to like him a bit when I was a kid. Oh, War Flute. Good music for the Civil War. So yeah, that's it. Next time, we go into the bowels of the potato. You're all for Jesse McCree's aesthetic because it's cowboy. Actually, one thing I will show you. No, not gonna show you that. Not that either. There we are. Is the original concept art for this character. I won't show you what it looks like now, but I'll show you the original concept art. There. So they changed a bit. That's your type. Don't worry, they don't look like that. There's a reason for at least some of his deal. Yeah, there is, yeah. Some of it. There's also a reason for some of Velma's deal, but does that excuse it? We won't get into it. It's fine. Well, we will get into it, and we're going to get into it in not too long. We are chugging along this story. The fact that you can keep saying that is just so weird. I remember saying that in an earlier stream. I was like, the fact that I can keep saying that there's a reason for this. I hate the fact that I keep saying this because it's true, but I don't like it. It will never excuse Velma. There is a sense in which the explanation can be interpreted as even weirder, but also makes sense. Confusion of emotions as a young person. You know, they are all still young people, you know. 19-year-old teacher isn't weird, not as weird as a 17-year-old teacher who got fired at 19 for suddenly becoming not a good teacher, despite the fact they were. I don't know. You still struggle to keep up with the name changes. You struggle. You struggle. Oh dear. So yeah, thank you for coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow, more eggs. Some egg salad occurring. We're gonna kill a what's his name? Jared Leto, by the looks of it. Who got fired for not being a good enough teacher and not hitting on their students? I can't remember the exact reason they got fired. Oh look, Noodle a Box. Oh no, not Noodle a Box. That's well, according to the fact, it's Nicholas Travolta. But Worm Le Bag actually was. My brain used to have things like theorems in it, and like mathematical arguments and logic, and now it's got like Worm Le Bag and Dishonored Jesse and whatever the hell the sorcerer was in COC. You know, saying sorry. What she should have done was hit on her student. What she should have done was hit on her students. I think neither would be good. There's an improvement then. I mean, it depends on your perspective. I wasn't really helping anyone with the theorems. And you know, maybe I'm making people happy with this nonsense. Who knows? She hit on her students, and students also kind of hit on her. That was another thing that was a thing at the start of the game, with groups of students who were like, you know, we're the #1 fans of Velma. We're the #1 Velma fan squad. And I think there were like more than one group of students who were like that. And they were like, oh, she's amazing. I don't get it. Should also point out at this point that there's a relatively robust card game in this game, which is all anyone ever remembers. And there are cards of enemies, there are cards of bosses, but the best cards in the game are cards of your characters. And other people have them. Sometimes it makes sense. So for example, Pikachu's card, you get Pikachu's card from Pikachu's mum in Balam. You get the Dick Who Has Ifrit. You get, I don't really know where most of the cards come from, but you get the Velma card from the, you know, Velma's #1 fan who's a student who's really obsessed with Velma. It's like, why do you have a card of this person? You have the only card of this person in the world. Do they know you have this? It just adds to the weirdness. And it's not like, you know, they handmade this card and they're using it in the game. No, there's one of these in the world. It's a really powerful card and it can be turned into really powerful items. It is just a intrinsically very powerful thing. Why 80% of the people in this game are sexual predators? I don't know. It's only when you explain it in this way that it makes sense. It's like, just when you're in it, you're just like, this is mad, let's just skip most of this. But when you have to explain it, oh damn. Like when you turn the monsters into cards. See, does that imply that there was originally another Velma that got turned into a card? I don't know. Or do, like, whenever anyone's born, a card also appears of that person. They come out of the womb carrying it. I don't know. Weird. The only people in this game you trust are Pinches, Patches, and Jen. And Jive. Don't trust Jive. Oh, do trust Jive. Don't forget Jive. That's what I was trying to say. Yes. So... yeah. I think I'm right in saying that every stream... every subsequent stream of this draw-through is going to get weirder. I think this was the last close to sensible stream. So look forward to that. I can't think of a point in which it's going to plateau. We'll see. So, more egg business tomorrow. I hope everyone has a wonderful week and start to the week, and has had a good start to the week. Hope you all enjoy yourselves. Oh, that was one thing. No, I won't talk about that. We'll talk about that at some point. Egg. Yes. Stuff. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I have plans for things and I want to run it by people, but it's not at the moment. Can't leave us hanging like that. It's called a cliffhanger. It's fine. Gnomes love hugs. That's what I'll leave you with. Have a wonderful time, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Have a grand adventure with your Digimon. And I'll return to the Final Fantasy wastes from whence I came. Yeah. Goodbye. Hope you had a good time. Bye.